Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. And we have got ourselves what should be a good one here today, as it's going to be Changeling taking on Caninana. So can Caninana beat Changeling? We shall find out, as Changeling is a random bot developed by Team Eras. So taking a lot of their knowledge from their 3 bots they've already programmed and creating a random bot. Although it does have a bit more variety, I believe, than just the 3 being compiled. Like, notably, we've seen lots of Reapers from Changeling. And yeah, we'll just see how it's going to do against the solid macro Zerg that is Caninana. Now, it has been a bit of time since Caninana received an update, as I can tab out for a moment. Never mind, the AI Arena is giving me a bad gateway. Okay, nope. Yeah, it's been since February 20th, 2025, so a bit of time. Not too long, and it's in a very stable place. But yes, let's see, as we do have that one Overlord chilling on top of the hatchery. And then we have got Queen on the way. Yeah, just standard Zerg stuff from Caninana. And so, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, go ahead, click that like button, leave a comment down below saying more bots. That probe for Changeling zigged when it should have zagged and got killed by a drone, so that's not ideal. The Protoss random bot elects to go for a Nexus, and then has got, yeah, just an Adept on the way now. So high ground wall off from the Protoss. And then we have got a hatchery on the way for Caninana. Persephone is an interesting map that we are on today. It's got, notably, that LaughNgamez healing shrine. It's kind of funny how everything in Starcraft 2 is like, oh, it's magical. We got a LaughNgamez watchtower sometimes on maps. We got LaughNgamez healing shrines. When will we get the LaughNgamez rocks, though? I have been replaying the Starcraft 2 campaign. I just beat Wings of Liberty again. It was very fun. I might try the, I think it's like the Insane mod that was made by Giant Grant Games to make the campaign harder, because I think more of a challenge is definitely better. I've also been replaying through the Brood War campaign, but the Mass Recall mod, and I do have to say, shame on Blizzard, because with the arcade updates and videos being disabled in the arcade, there is no longer, you can't play Mass Recall with the cinematics in it, because it's a mod that loads in the cinematics for Brood War. So it's a bit unfortunate, and I really do hope Blizzard fixes that in the future, as we do have Adepts still moving around, going to kill off that Ling, as a few Lings for Caninana do move forward, try and dive on the Adept. It does cancel the Shade, so good micro from Changeling so far to net 5 Ling kills in total. Although I am a little confused, as that Adept only has 3, so what else killed them? I'm not too sure, as we do have, okay, it must have been one of these, yeah, one of those Adepts down there, as Caninana likes to try and go for a consistent scout. We see that very good programming on the Ling to try and avoid the threat and then still make it into its opponent's base, and it does. Seeing the Stargate, Changeling is going for Resonating Glaives, going to try and pull Caninana to pieces. This is a very lethal build. When humans go for it, pro players bust it out all the time, as there's a lot of micro potential. Adepts are really good at killing workers, and it's not like Caninana has got a lot of workers to lose, as it does like to delay its economy for early units. And that is a bit of a double-edged sword, because I don't know if that's the right analogy, but Caninana, like, it cuts so many drones, it's like, okay, great. It's going to have lots of units. But at the same time, if it loses any drones after cutting them so severely, it's like, that is not okay. So for Caninana's sake, hopefully these Adepts do not get in and kill any workers. There is burrow, so in theory the drones should just be able to burrow and stay alive, but at the same time, you can't afford to lose much mining time. We do see Lings moving forward on top of these Resonating Glaive Adepts. Resonating Glaive Adepts are pretty darn good versus Zerglings though, so they do get a nice trade to start things off. The Roaches will be the main threat, however there is only 5 of them, and the 7 queens, so the queens may need to do some heavy lifting here as the Adepts are just doing a very good job kiting the Zerglings there, and then now shading into the base as we do have some of these drones immediately having to burrow due to this threat. Adepts can, I mean, 2 Adepts can one-shot a drone, so they've got to be quick on the trigger there. We do have a Roach being worked on. That can, in theory, just burrow and be safe. Void Ray rolls on up. That is way, way overcommitted, and it does try and retreat, but maybe not being aware that it's slowed when it has prismatic alignment, and it does go down. So far, Caninana does absorb this attack quite successfully, as Changeling is getting pushed away. 1 Stalker it's sent out, getting picked off. Changeling has pivoted from Adepts into just regular old Stalkers. Now, that is actually much worse than the Adepts would have been against these Lings. So the Lings are actually getting a nice trade, picking off some of these Stalkers. Still, though, the middle of the map is an absolute war zone, as there's just units running all over the place. We do have Stalkers trying to pick off some of these Roaches. Looks like they do get one there. Caninana isn't trying to burrow them, despite having burrow. It might wait for Tunneling Claws before it does that. The Protoss bot does have a 3rd Nexus up, getting up a Robo Bay on the way, Blink on the way as well. But now it's going to be on the defensive a little bit, as Caninana is coming on in here with these Lings, getting a wraparound on some Stalkers. The Immortal's just standing firm. The Immortal could deal good damage to the Roaches, but not if it just gets killed by Lings. Probes are actually being pulled into the fight, which is not really ideal at this point. Changeling just needs to produce as many units as possible. Notably, there's no pylon at the natural, no pylon at the 3rd base for Warpins, though, and that is quite unfortunate. Now, there is a nice group of Stalkers here to help out. The Protoss bot has lost 18 workers. It can afford to lose a reasonable amount, as it is on 3 bases at the same time. Caninana has its 4th on the way up, though, but it does seem that Changeling is able to hang on. Once Blink is done, things will get even better for it. But still, the Probes being drafted into the fight as they're just buffering damage for these Stalkers. And yeah, Changeling really needs to get those working, as its economy really fell there. As we see, it's just, I mean, 1,100 minerals versus like 23 for a moment there, which is not good. And yeah, just the switch off the Adepts isn't great. Like, Caninana is building Lings, so I'm not sure how Changeling manages its unit composition, but this would definitely be a case as Protoss where it's like, oh, there's tons of Lings, let's warp in some more Adepts. But I guess that's just an early phase thing for Changeling, as Probes are still being distracted by 1 Ling. They really need to get back to work. Changeling has lost a lot of workers here, and it is just trying to rebuild them, but like, again, it's just lost so much mining time. Now, let's see, take a look at that main. It has pulled out a gas, which is important because it's just short on minerals, so good economic balancing from Changeling. No batteries at the 3rd base or anything, though. We do have another Adept being warped in, which is nice to see. Stalkers microing back against these Lings. The Adepts definitely will help out a lot, as the Stalkers are taking damage, keeping themselves alive, though, which is very important. The Immortal and Probes are having a bit of a tougher time at the 3rd base, as they do have to pull back. And Caninana has just been very aggressive this game. It is squeezing out some drones, though, squeezing out some upgrades. An Adept almost goes down. Changeling needs every unit it can possibly manage at this point, though, as the Adepts and Stalkers are pushing the Lings back. Army supplies 61 to 32, which isn't good for Changeling. There's also no research going down, no forge in sight. Caninana, meanwhile, has got +1 missile, getting +1 attack on the way. There's also Tunneling Claws on the way for the Zerg bot. And look at this army from Caninana, as it's just got even more Lings. The blue Zerg is being so aggressive here. Adepts, I mean, there's quite a few of them now to handle these Lings. It's going to depend on that Micro. They are pulling back, but there's simply so many Lings, and Micro can only do so much as they close that distance really quickly. Adepts now fighting the Roaches is not good. Meanwhile, Lings are getting on top of Probes, Stalkers, And yeah, the Adepts ending up fighting the Roaches is not good at all for Changeling. And then, yeah, units just scattered all over the place. This is a nightmare to observe as Caninana's attack got a good bit of damage done. Now, it wasn't a killing blow, so the Protoss bot is still alive. We've got the one Immortal going to be able to do work against these Roaches. There is a Colossus out now as well. And then Caninana, it says tag Thermal Lances forward. I'm not sure what that one means, as unless it sometimes tells Thermal Lances researching, but I don't think it was able to see that. And then we do have the third base of Changeling taking a bit of a beating as the Red Protoss bot tried to counterattack a little bit, but now it may just lose that third Nexus, and that is going to be incredibly problematic. Now, Changeling and Deimos has got very good micro with its armies, so if it can just hold on and, say, muster up a big enough army, maybe it can start getting some good trades, but it's just not been able to do that. Caninana's attacks have been relentless as more and more of these Protoss units go down. The one Immortal, I mean, it's just out there on its own. It's got 19 kills. The Colossus is a nice addition, but now Changeling's economy is pitiful compared to that of Caninana. Caninana has been macroing up behind this, up to 82 drones. Neural Parasite on the way. 2-1 upgrades on the way. Changeling will need a miracle to come back in this game. It definitely doesn't need another assimilator, which it's building. It needs another Nexus, and then just to build up a big enough army. But look at this, the natural base wide open. Lings of Caninana going in for a very cool attack, as just the positioning has been great. It's just been non-stop attacks. Changeling's been having a hard time dealing with these bot attacks, despite being a bot itself. And yeah, Caninana, it's now covering the map in creep. I think we may just be seeing Changeling sort of wilt on the vine here, as yeah, it's got a small army. It's moving out with the Colossus is now being dove upon by the Roaches. And then yeah, Adepts cleaning up some creep, which is a bit of a futile effort with how many tumors there is on the map. The army is basically gone for Changeling, and yeah, I'm not sure how it would possibly come back in this situation. If it turtled and built up like 3 Colossus and used its incredible micro, it's like maybe there's a chance, but Caninana is a very good late game bot. We now see the Colossus getting dove upon by the Lings. Roaches coming in as well. They will not take nearly as much damage as the Lings, so the Colossus goes down. I do believe we've got a Caninana victory for this one, ladies and gentlemen. And what a phenomenal game from the Blue Zerg. Just non-stop attack, shutting down that aggression quite successfully. And yeah, even though Deimos did eventually start making more Adepts, it just wasn't enough, as the Protoss army sort of got conquered or divided and conquered, as Caninana was hitting the third, hitting the natural, running forces away and kind of dragging the units of Changeling out. And so ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this one, click that like button. Leave a comment down below saying more bots if you want to see more of these bot matches, and then subscribe if you're not already subscribed. A big thanks to everyone that does support the channel via the YouTube membership program. It goes a long way, and yeah, well done. It's good to see Caninana getting a victory, because it is a very darn good bot, but it's just most of its games seem to not go this smoothly. And yeah, definitely keep more of an eye on it. GG.